Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us here on the Rochester Press Box. Bill Pucko with you, joined by the guys. Tariq, Spence, how you doing?
Never a dull moment in the world of sports, ever. Not ever, ever, ever.
Even in July. We got through July, which was a fairly dull month, but we got through it. Number 94 of the Buffalo Bills, Pat Duffy.
Yeah, as you know, the Bills' defensive line might be, and I don't mean to sound blasphemous, the best in franchise history, but let's go back to a guy who, if we're talking about some of the best players of the drought, Aaron Schobel would be one of those guys.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that his name came up when we were discussing possible wall members.
I hate him, but I mean, he was one of the best ever. He got walked away. He just retired instead of having to come back to Buffalo
All
and
I
play.
remember is Brian Moorman from that discussion.
I have to ask the Buffalo Bills question really quickly, just really quickly. If they win a Super Bowl, is that going to be your best defense and best offense ever?
Well, yeah, I mean, you won the Super Bowl, right?
There you go.
There you go. Hey, let's talk Little League Baseball. Something I think we kind of stumble on every time it comes up, so it's an annual point of discussion. Do you like that it's on TV?
I like that it's on TV, and listen, there was an incident with the Little League World Series, and this will probably win an ESPY. That moment was unbelievable. Literally, a kid gets hit in the head with a baseball unintentionally, and the fact that kid was able to get up, go to first base, see that the pitcher is just totally distraught about it, and goes over to hug him. That's what ESPYs are for. This is what sports is about. Sportsmanship is about. It's a great moment in television, and it will last forever.
I used to like the fact that the Little League World Series was on television. In fact, I'd watch it a ton just because, oh, look at them go. They're running around. They're like little bobbleheads out there. When my daughter started playing travel hockey, I stopped enjoying the fact that the Little League World Series was on television because, my daughter, she plays hockey for fun. She's okay, right? The stress that she has before big games is insane. And she doesn't even take it all that seriously, to be honest with you. Knowing these kids, what's on the line, they know. They know they're on national television. I mean, the reason that kid was so distraught, one, you might have hurt that kid too. Everyone you'll ever meet
saw it.
Yeah, watched what happened on national television. It kind of seems cruel to put the kids to that kind of pressure. I get they think it's cool. I get it's a great experience for them, but if you don't win the whole thing,
you're not suggesting it was premeditated.
No. The point that I'm making is if these kids, only one team doesn't have the entire team crying on national television, and it's the one that wins it all.
Tariq, look, you're in the same position. Kids, seeing that. I've always been, I think, totally on Duffy's side with this. There's an icky element to me about exposing kids to that degree of exposure at that age. To the point, on television, we never showed a JV football game.
Yeah.
And we had certain rules that we abided by. For instance, if a high school kid made an error on the field, you would never identify him by name. If you had to show the play because it was critical to the outcome, you'd show the play, but you would never identify the guy who made the error.
Well, I remember watching it, playing Little League, and then, of course, our season ending, not going to Little League World Series, but then, being in this sort of understanding of these kids are playing this sport and having fun with it. I think what happens is the overexposure of it is the concern here. But these kids basically watch videos of other kids doing other stuff all the time.
Sure.
And you have a number of child actors, which don't get me on that.
That may not be the best argument to throw out there right now.
No, but that's my point in a sense that there is the good and there is the bad. You will get the moments of great sportsmanship and you will get the bad moments that will happen. They're all teachable. And so we can't ignore the fact that these are all teachable moments. Can we control how much we consume it? Of course. There's 15 other things for people to do if they decide to not watch the Little League World Series. But
are they still teachable if we serve it up like they do?
They're still kids. They're still kids.
They're kids and the crowd too. I'm also thinking about the shots of the parents in the crowd.
But and the parents love it too. Don't get me wrong. They love the attention. I think at all youth sports levels. I don't think it's just a matter of whether they're out there on TV.
What you're saying in an ideal situation, fine, I can agree with that. But the Little League World Series we're watching now is not Little League Baseball, right? These are all-star travel teams that have parents that are pumping thousands, tens of thousands of dollars into their 10, 11, 12-year-old sons and daughters to put them in a position where they can succeed. This isn't old school backyard baseball, the best team in America shows up. This is a legitimate industry with 11 and 12-year-old kids you are watching being broadcast on national television in between commercials for shaving cream and M&Ms.
And they do it for AAU basketball. They do it for hockey. They do it all over the place, and it will expand.
Hate it.
This is the Rochester Press Box, and we're talking the Buffalo Bills next. Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box. The Buffalo Bills segment here brought to you by Ralph Honda for 3 generations and celebrating 50 years as New York's first and oldest Honda dealer. Visit Ralph Honda today and find out how we do Honda right at ralphhonda.com. And the Buffalo Bills got 35,000 fans into Orchard Park for a scrimmage.
I mean, I think for a lot of people, based on how ticket prices are going to be this year, at least the beginning of the season, it's your only opportunity you may get to see him live, plus the tickets they distributed in Rochester for the training camp. So I get it. It's still bananas, man. Like, 35,000 people came out on a 100-degree night where a storm just rolled through and there was an accident on the 90 from Rochester into Medina to watch this team play. And it would have been more. A lot of people got stuck on the thruway coming from Rochester to watch this game. What a time to be a Bills fan right now, huh?
Yeah.
Greatest time for you guys. I'm so happy for you, but now you know what happens with the preseason. Hey, come on. Don't deny this.
Why do you do this,
Because
man?
it's true. You want the
It's called
payoff
poking
at
the bear.
end.
Hey, you having fun taking a nap? Let me kick you right in the chest.
You want the... I'm not kicking you in the chest. I'm giving you reality. You know full well. One, the excitement is great, and I love the fact that they're sold out. I do not like the fact that there's some fans that can't see them, that can't afford to see them, but I do understand season ticket holders do have that right to get those tickets early. I will say this, though. You will have to start understanding, as fans, that Josh Allen is not somebody you throw a football to in the head to try to get him to sign the football.
First of all, it hit him in the genitals. Second of all, that's why.
Even worse, and it's still that. Well, I shouldn't say that on air.
It's that it depends on the fan. Hey, look, to your point about wondering what's next, that comes with the success is the Odell Beckham story that came up. You know, that it probably won't ever happen, but, you know, he's being recruited by members of the Buffalo Bills, and it just demonstrates that the winning in Josh Allen changes everything, and Buffalo is suddenly a destination spot.
Well, I mean, let's just go back to the recruiting thing for a second. A lot of people were very upset about this recruiting about 5-6 years ago. Now it seems to be great when you're a team that's close to actually getting a championship. That being said, for Odell Beckham Jr., keep the window open. I'm not saying he's going to join the Bills, but the guy's had a couple knee injuries. He's coming off of a Super Bowl championship. Another way to get paid by another team, maybe a year from now, or maybe less than a year from now, is to have another championship. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Play football, players get hurt. I'm not wishing that on the Bills. I'm just saying it's good to have a couple guys in the background.
No, I mean, the Bills are overloaded at receiver. There's going to be guys they drafted that they thought were going to be parts of this team. They're going to have to stash on the practice squad that will get claimed by other teams on waivers. I mean, unfortunately for Odell Beckham Jr., if he wants to be part of this Bills team, he plays the one position other than quarterback where you don't need anybody rotating in right now. And let's be real, he's had surgery on both knees. He's left major drama leaving New York, major drama leaving Cleveland. Things worked out in LA, but he was only there for like 17 hours. Is this even a McDermott guy?
Yeah, it's not so much, to me, it's not so much Beckham. It's what it represents in the broader scale.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I think like all of that shock washed over us when Von Miller made the choice to be here. They didn't have to trade for him. He made the decision to come out here and play for the Buffalo Bills. And I got to be honest with you, man, being out at camp, watching everything going on, like, it's still amazing. I've seen it 8 days. When Von Miller walks out of that tunnel, like, that's Von Miller, and he's wearing a Bills helmet right now.
But that's the whole point of why you don't keep Odell Beckham Jr. as that's not a possibility. Of course it's a possibility because Von Miller came here, and now there's this steam and momentum with young players and older players.
All right, here's the thing. I am now so spoiled. We don't need Odell Beckham Jr. You're like, if you want to talk stars, give me a legitimate star, not a guy that's blown out his knee twice.
We don't need...
Well, wait, but we don't. I mean, knock on wood, right now, the Bills do not need Odell Beckham Jr.
But they're a destination when
Yes.
they need somebody.
Yes.
It's like the whole field is them there to pick from.
And that's the point I'm making. If you want to talk to me about stars coming to Buffalo, talk to me next year in free agency if they are a step away or they did win the Super Bowl. Because Von freaking Miller being chased by 10 teams willing to offer record contracts chose Western New York.
He was upset with me bringing up the team going to the Super Bowl. Then he brings up the team going to the Super Bowl, and we don't need Odell Beckham
Tariq,
Jr.
he's always upset.
Oh, my goodness.
Stop being so upsetting.
Well, stop being so sensitive.
Our Buffalo Bills segment is brought to you by Ralph Honda. Like it or not, it's next. Here's the Press Box Trivia question brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road at 390.
have I got a great getaway for you and the whole family. It's inexpensive and nearby. Mike O'Brien, your getaway guy. Look for the Getaway Guy on Facebook. The Getaway Guy on Facebook. It's a great road trip just for you.
Here's the Press Box Trivia answer, brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road at 390.
Are you facing criminal charges from a DWI and feel that you never imagined it could happen to you? Contact attorneys with years of experience as prosecutors and defenders. Contact Ganguly Brothers Law today for a free consultation. You can put your trust in us.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here in the Rochester Press Box. Our Like It or Not segment brought to you by Ganguly Brothers Law, attorneys with years of experience defending the accused. Don't go unprepared. Contact Ganguly Brothers Law today. Tariq, like it or not, the whole look of Kevin Durant issuing ultimatums to his team owner.
See, this is why I think it's great that we have this sort of offseason that's supposed to be dead. This is what keeps it alive. The fact that we're having this discussion of a star player basically not working out the first 2 years in Brooklyn, didn't even play his first year, and then came back again, and now Kyrie Irving, it's all employing in front of their face. We don't need a coach, all these other different things. Now I want to trade. Now I don't want to be traded. This is going to be fun because I think the owner is sticking by the player and the GM for now. And that could all change. But then again, he could be on a new team by the end of the show.
Okay, first, this is where I remind all of you guys that the second that this all came together in Brooklyn, however many years ago I said it was going to blow up, but that's a whole other thing. Durant is playing against his own leverage, and the owner, of course, has to do this in New Jersey, Brooklyn. He's already gone, right? Like, if you blow out Kevin Nash, blow out Steve Nash and the general manager there, who's to say that 6 months from now, Durant doesn't do the same thing? He already knows Durant's gone. So you get to show a little bit of, look how tough I am. I'm not going to bend over for Kevin Durant's demands, even though we're going to bend over for Kevin Durant's demands and trade him, even though he has 4 years in term left on his deal right now.
Is there a greater... It's not a greater good. I think that's overstating it. But doesn't the owner have to stand up for himself when something like this happens?
Well, he did. And I think ultimately you will get to the point in the relationship where this isn't going to work. I'm not going to have a disgruntled player. I'm not going to go out here and get bumped in the first round or bumped in the second round and not contend for a championship. So let's go in another direction with the GM and the head coach. Maybe one, maybe both. It doesn't really matter. But this isn't going to work.
No, I disagree that he stood up for himself because you didn't stand up to Kyrie Irving when he was going through what he was going through, and Harden decided he wanted out, and you facilitated that. Kyrie goes and does what he does in the offseason with all that drama, and you facilitated that. Durant asked for a trade. You're now exploring a trade. You facilitated that. You know what this is like when your spouse and kids tell you you can't do X, Y, Z, B, whatever, and you go in the backyard and you mow and be like, I showed them I got to do what I wanted to do. No, you didn't. You're just moving the goalpost to make it look like you got to win, and that's what this is. And anybody that doesn't see through it.
But as soon as you got married, you realized what this was. You realized what you were doing as soon as you got in, and you had to play the hand all the way out, and that's exactly what you did.
It's in the fine print.
Harden actually worked for you because he did not play well in Philadelphia, and Ben Simmons, who knows when he'll go play. So this is really, it's kind of like when it gets worse and worse and worse, and you want to stick with the stock.
But these guys are hurting the game, don't you think? And as a part of that, if you're the Boston Celtics and you've got a team in place that's built differently, do you even consider taking on one of these guys?
Yes, I think that if you're Boston, and I don't like it because I like the team basketball thing, you have to take Durant right now the way it is. If you're not going to give up major pieces, if you can keep Horford, if you can keep Tatum, if you can keep, a couple other guys, yeah. I mean, come on. You got a guy that talented. You'll trade those.
I bet it wouldn't be well received.
For Boston fans, you mean the biggest turncoats about everything impossible? Cheater could come out of retirement, back third for the Red Sox. Oh, yeah, we were waiting for it. We knew it was coming.
I think you misread this.
My God.
Boston's got a history of embracing guys like a baseball player, Trot Nixon, guys that they just fall in love with, ways of doing things that they come to appreciate that they don't want to see screwed with.
What was their biggest problem in the final scoring? They would solve that with Durant, and it shouldn't be a problem because their defense is pretty darn good.
All right.
You really just said.
I had to let it go.
Okay. I'm sorry. You do you.
I tried, Bill. I tried to just go over that comment.
I have a history with that city.
Yeah, I know you do, and that's why you're so hypocritical about it.
Just tried to bridge it and get to the end.
I Like It or Not segment is brought to you by Ganguly Brothers Law, Unfinished Business.
The Press Box Stat of the Week is being brought to you by McArdle's Restaurant in Fairport. McArdle's is open 7 days a week with dining available indoors and out, takeout and delivery. Come home to McArdle's.
And now to Eichel. He Unfinished Business is brought to you by Greg the Roofer. Greg will meet or beat any competitor's price and can finance you with zero down. Call today or visit gregtheroofer.com. Better roof, better price. Better call Greg today.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us here on the Rochester Press Box. It is time for Unfinished Business. Pat, start us off.
You talk about the popularity of the Buffalo Bills, and again, as a diehard Bills fan, season ticket holder forever, lived through the drought, it's amazing to me, but it was really sent home to me the last 2 weeks. My brother, Ryan, just had a baby girl, Georgia Maureen Duffy. She's adorable. But to celebrate the birth of this baby girl, I bought her a pair of baby Zubaz pants to wear during the season, and I was looking for a onesie jersey. Josh Allen, the one that clips through the legs there. Can't find it. They're sold out. And it's not that they're sold out because they're affordable. Those things are like $70. Nike makes them. They're actual jerseys into onesies. You can't find them anywhere. Not on the internet, not through the Bills, not any stores locally. And you haven't been able to find them for 6 months because that's how long I've been looking for. I can't find a jersey for a baby. That's how popular the Buffalo Bills are right now. And I'm not gonna lie to you, man, I've been spending hours, legitimate hours over the last few months trying to track down this baby jersey. I've offered to pay people for their Josh Allen baby jerseys that I already had, wash them and not tell my brother it was a used jersey. They wouldn't sell them to me. The Bills players are signing physical babies at training camp. Did you see that mother that handed Stephon Diggs her baby, even though Stephon Diggs, no fault of his own, doesn't know how to hold a baby, and the baby's neck was just all over the place? It is amazing that not only are we putting ourselves into this team, not only are we putting our money into this team, we're legitimately handing over the safety of our children to these superstars. I love every moment of this, and I know it's not going to last forever, so Bills fans, soak it in while you can, and if you have a Josh Allen baby jersey, please tweet at me. I'd like to buy it from you.
With all the criticism that sports athletes get, there is one athlete that will be retiring soon, and you will miss the greatest of all time that ever played tennis, at least women's tennis, Serena Williams. She announced that she's going to possibly retire after the U.S. Open. Now, I'm not sure how far she's going to go in the U.S. Open, but best believe I'll watch that first round match when I never needed to watch those first round matches ever in her career until recently. She's decided to go on to another career, possibly her family and all the businesses and great things. She started playing tennis when she was 4. She's 40. That means 36 years into a sport where no one believed, yet her dad pushed her and her sister into it and became the greatest tennis player of all time. I know a lot of people will say, but what about that blow up at this place or that place? No, not that big of a deal. You want to know why? Because we've had plenty of players and plenty of athletes that have blown up and have been passionate about the sport, yet they're not considered unprofessional. That was the only blow up Serena Williams really even had, other than the fact that she was able to blow out her competition. I wish her the best of the luck. She's the greatest of all time, and understand, respect the fact that she did it this long and that not too many people are able to do it is why she deserves your respect.
I wanted to talk to Rochester Red Wings first baseman Joey Meneses. I wanted to ask him what it was like to play professional baseball in Zebulon, North Carolina, Jackson, Mississippi, Portland, Worcester, Allentown, and Rochester, Mexico, and Japan. I wanted to ask him what it was like to hold on to the unrequited dream of playing in the major leagues for 11 long years. Now I don't have to. Meneses began his journey as a 19-year-old playing in Mexico. 10 seasons later, he was in Rochester with the Red Wings. Along the way, he won the International League's Most Valuable Player Award for Lehigh Valley. He hit .310 with a career-high 22 home runs. He was rewarded for that season just 1 month later with his outright release. It's a catch-22 with having a great minor league season. The numbers are nice, but if you're playing in AAA long enough to have such a season, you're not considered a prospect anymore. And oftentimes, you're the last one to know it. Just ask Jeff Manto. You remember back in 1994, Manto had 27 home runs for Rochester. He won the league MVP award and helped save the Red Wings in the transition from Silver Stadium to getting Frontier Field built. He was rewarded after that season and all he did for the Rochester franchise with his outright release. So you want to be a professional baseball player. Well, a couple of weeks ago, after hitting 20 home runs for the Wings and following a roster purge of the Major League team in Washington, Meneses got the call he'd waited those 11 years for, a promotion to the Nationals. He had a home run in his first big league game. 3 of his first Major League hits were home runs. He carries an OPS of over 1,000 for the stat nerds. Whatever happens from here, Joey Meneses is no longer an unrequited dreamer. He is a major leaguer, and that says it all. That is Unfinished Business, and that is our program. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Am I allowed to say anything about the Buffalo Bills without him getting so upset?
Apparently not.
I would prefer you didn't say anything, period.
What?
Oh! Face! Face!
Oh.
Thank you for joining us on the Rochester Press Box, and we'll see you again next week.
Maybe.